Hi disciples and my eye watchers, this is Jetsu, and on my channel I talk about God, His love for us, His Son, and His Son coming back. And today we're going to look at the book of Daniel. We're going to look at to eat or not to eat. To eat or not to eat. Because sometimes what you eat can defile you. And especially if you're following God's rules and regulations, the rules that Jesus laid down or what was given to Moses to the people of Jerusalem. So we're going to look at a character, Daniel. And Daniel was, I believe he was probably part of the royal house, and he was born around the year 26, the year 600 and probably 28 BC. And Daniel was part of that group that was repatriated to the Chaldeans' land, to Babylon. So during the time when Jeremiah was warning of the imminent danger that was coming to Jerusalem, Daniel was in Jerusalem at that time in Judea, and he was a part of that old group that was captured and taken away to Jerusalem because Jeremiah was warning and most wasn't listening, especially the king. The king, Jehoiakim, he was not listening to what Jeremiah was warning and saying an imminent danger is coming. So yes, so Daniel was born around that time when the Nebuchadnezzar was ruling, and Daniel lived to see the kingdom of the Chaldean land, the kingdom of Babylon, fall to Cyrus the Assyrian, the Persian, I should say, Cyrus the Persian conqueror. So Daniel lived a very long life, and he lived to see, he was captured in Babylon, and he lived to see another conqueror conquer Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, take away their kingdom. So, so it's just like it here today. There's kingdoms from back then, from the what do you call it, the Persian ruling, Babylon ruling, come straight down. So kingdom rise up and kingdom fall. And we grew up to hear to know the kingdom of we heard of all those kingdoms, read about all those kingdoms, but we grew up to see the British ruling, conquering the world, conquering everything. So a lot of kingdom comes, rise, fall. And where are we today now? We are now possible on one of the last reigning. We don't call it monarch, call it United Kingdom, United States of America, ruling now. And guess who is Shakalan coming behind, stealing all the information to be the next ruler, to try to be the next ruler? China. So it's just like back then. Kingdom rise, kingdom fall. And like I said, we grew up to see the British ruling. We only hear about the British ruling everywhere. You don't hear that again. You heard United States of America. And all of a sudden, you heard about this other nation, China, trying to take every information, everything, doing their espionage, carry on stealing information and all of those stuff. Everything is playing out now on television to see, because they want to be the next what? Ruling nation. The next what? Conquering nation. But before they can do that, guess what, my eye watchers and disciples? God, Jesus, possible, may return before another nation, conquering nation, ruling. So yes, so Daniel was part of that repatriating group, captured, taken to Babylon. But Daniel remember the rule they got when they were in Judea. The defilement they should stay away from. The sin they should not commit. So Daniel remember all of those stuff. Even though they're dragging them to captivity, Daniel remember all of those stuff. So my eye watchers and disciples, once they get to the Chaldean land, they get to Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar implement this thing where they have to train and fed a lot of young boys, young kids, a lot of young kids, a lot of young boys. Because back then, they always keep women in the back. So a lot of young boys. So I'm not sure it could have been 20, it could have been 40 young boys. You have to feed them with the king's food, you know, to get them fattened up, to get them ready, to get them looking plump, to get them looking good. And then bring them to the king table. To say, okay, king, oh, king, live forever, whatever they say back then. Here are the kids, the boys, them that you said to, you know, take care of and fed them with your food. So now when it gets to Daniel and his colleague, Daniel said, wait a minute, I may be dragged into the Chaldean land, but I don't have to do and get myself assimilate into their doctrine, their culture, whatever the case may be. I don't have to get myself into all of those stuff. So Daniel, so now they came, the king's eunuch. So what I should say, it's all in God's plan. Because remember, Jehoiakim, the king that was ruling Judah, he did not want to listen to Jeremiah ruling that imminent danger is coming. Imminent danger is coming. He didn't want to listen. So God allowed everything to play, to fall. Let Judah fall right into the hands of the Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian, the Chaldean king. Let them fall right into the hands of Babylon. Because that's what happened to us now. We're not listening to God. This is a nation that built on the principle, as they said, the forefather, George Washington. The nation was built on God's word. That's what we grew up to hear. But where are we now today? We are jumping off the bridge, doing what we wanted to do and what we, everything that is unpleasing to God and defilement, everything we're doing, all the atrocity. And guess what? Right behind our tail, China is coming, and stealing. Every time you heard about espionage incident, all our information, now, what we heard now, they're making plain. Because they want all the economy to rise. And I'm telling you, my fellow eye watchers and disciples, what my Bible told me, it will happen. It's going to happen until the nation, until our nation, until me, until you, until us started listening to God. We can fall. We're not immune from falling. So much other nation fall before us. Not listen to God. God can let China play right in there. Let us not, China, let us play right into the downfall and have China rise if we don't listen to God. So yes, so the king have them fatten up those boys, bring them to the kid. They came to Daniel and said, okay, Daniel, the king said we should fed you his food because the king wants you boys to look good and to fatten you up. And Daniel said, wait a minute, you may drag me from my homeland and take me here, but I'm not going to eat their food. Do me a favor. I'm not going to eat the food. So the eunuch said, God allow the prince, Daniel, to favor in the prince's eyes. So kind of lenient with Daniel. Because I told you, all these plans is God. They dragging them away. It's God's plans. Man not listening, and that's what's going to happen to us. So Daniel said, I'm not going to eat the food. I can't defile myself. I'm an Hebrew boy. I can't defile myself. And I have to go by the rules and laws that Moses laid down. So Daniel said, wait a minute, eunuch. I'm not going to eat the food. Do me a favor. Let me have some vegetable. I'm not going to eat all of those fancy meat and stuff and drink and whatever. Let me have some vegetable. Give me and my colleague some vegetable for 10 days. Let us eat vegetable. And then come back and then check on us and see. So guess what, my fellow eye watchers and disciples? When they came back after 10 days and checked on Daniel, Daniel was glowing from eating all those vegetables. He was glowing. It's not to say we can't eat meat. This is not what it's about. It was about God showing them, I am Yahweh, that God. I am in control. And when you listen to me, this is what's going to happen. So Daniel listened to God. So this is what happened. So when they came back, Daniel was glowing. Daniel looks better. His countenance, his appearance looked better than all those other boys that was fed with the king's meat, the king's, what we call it now, classical dish, the food like you get in France or whatever, those nice fancy food, the king. So Daniel ate his vegetable, drink his water, and look better than all those who was fed with the king meat. So the question is, to eat or not to eat? So he didn't eat the king's food. He ate only vegetable. He didn't defile himself. So he was afraid of the king, but he was afraid of the king, but he didn't defile him. He stand his ground and said, nope, I ain't eating it. I ain't breaking the rules. I ain't get assimilate into all the atrocity and the sin that you guys carrying on here in Babylon. I'm not gonna do that. So Daniel, so this is what Daniel did. So Daniel did not eat only vegetable. He eats only vegetable, look better than those who eat meat. So they couldn't believe. But one thing I should say, the eunuch was so afraid when Daniel refused to eat the king's food, the meat, and the wines and stuff. Daniel refused. The eunuch was so afraid because he said he was afraid he's going to lose his head. Because you have to remember, back then, they didn't kill people like they kill them now. It wasn't about gun and all of those stuff. It was about the guillotine. Your head, you're going to lose your head to the guillotine, to the sharp guillotine. You're going to use it. So it was all about killing people by the guillotine. So the eunuch was afraid for Daniel not eating the king's food. What am I going to tell the king? So Daniel said, this is a test. Tell the king, this is a test. I'm going to eat vegetables and stuff. So when they did that, it was amazing and surprising to everyone to see they even look better than those who eat. So the question is, to eat or not to eat? So that's the example of what he's saying. Obey God, and when you disobey. So that example is about obey and disobey. So Daniel obeyed God, and now he looks better than those who didn't obey God. So my our children and disciples, I'm going to just read something. So this is the book of Daniel. Daniel, reading from verse 1. And I'm going to skip some of the verses and go down. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Joachim, king of Judea, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it. So king of Babylon besieged Jerusalem. He take Jerusalem, take away the people and take them captive. And the Lord gave Joachim, king of Judah, into the hands with the part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar to the house of his gods, and he brought the vessel unto the treasurer's house of his God. So Joachim, the king of Babylon, they dragged him, the king of Judah, I should say, that was ruling Israel, they dragged him over to Babylon, including the vessels and the treasures of the house, including what they were using in the sacrifice in Jerusalem to worship and stuff. They took everything over to Babylon because the king take a lot of stuff from Jerusalem. This is the reason why they don't know where the Ark of the Covenant is, because they take a lot of stuff. The Ark of the Covenant probably hidden to this day. You know, we don't know if someone know where it's at, but the point what I'm saying is about obey, to not to obey, or to obey. So this is the reason why they use eat and not to eat. And the king spake unto, spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuch, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel unto the king's seed and of the prince, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in wisdom, cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace. So they want the kings that look more plummy, look well fed, look good, look like have knowledge and smart and stuff to bring in front of the king. You know. So it's kind of like what we do today, partiality. You know, they could have bring any kids, you know, but they want the best of the best to bring in front of the king. And Daniel was part of that group, except Daniel did not eat the king's food, he ate the meat. Now among these, I'm jumping down to verse 6. Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuch gave names, for he gave unto Daniel the name of Belshazzar, and to Ananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were, you remember the story, they were the 3 boys that was tossed into the fire under Nebuchadnezzar order, because they didn't want to bow down to the false god. So these are the children, these 3 boys, they came from Judah during the captivity, and they did not bow. They did not conform. They did not bow to what was going on in Judah. They did not bow what was going on in Babylon. All the atrocity. They did not get caught up in all of those stuff. So you could see when we listen to God, when I listen to God, you listen to God, all of us listen to God and follow the rule, the outcome is always going to be favorable. The outcome is always going to be the best. The outcome is always going to be the best. And when we look around and we see what's going on now, we see exactly how those kingdoms fall back then, because man wasn't listening to God, and all of them fell. Because you and I saw today, they're not reigning anymore. Where are they now? Dismantle. And now, who we saw rising on the horizon, and the world everybody's talking about, this other new nation, rising like fire, wildfire. You can't get your hands off it, can't get your eyes off of it. Every time you turn around the news, this is what you're talking about. Guess what, my eye-watchers and disciples? God is in control, and we don't listen to God. God is going to allow us to fall in the hands of those we don't want to be fall in the hands. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be dragged away to captivity, but there's other way that you will fall if we don't listen to God. When you look around now, you see how many churches building. No one goes to church anymore. No one cares about church anymore. No one cares about God anymore. No one cares about Jesus anymore. No, all we cares about is false God, false worship, deeds, bad killing, crime, hatred, everything. This nation, which we all love, can fall, not fall where we get captured in captivity, but can fall in other way. Because I'm telling you, if we don't keep our eyes on China, we never know God's plan. We never know God's plan, because God's plan and man's plans are different. God is about obeying him, respect him, and do his will. And if this nation not doing the will of God, guess what? We all gonna sit. Right now we're sitting back and saw what's going on. We're gonna fall in the hands of China. It doesn't mean we're gonna drag out of this country and drag in captivity. Not every nation falls where they drag the people in captivity. But we can fall. Why? Because we have a level of hatred in this country against the peoples that God made. You have to keep one thing in mind. We did not make ourselves. God made us. So when you look at another brother and sister and you hate them so much, it means that you don't hate them. You hate God, because God is who made them. So if you don't want to change and have a level of hatred with rampage, shooting, killing, running this land, guess what? We are going to sit back and saw China gonna rise. Why? Because it could be all in God's plan. God was teaching man lesson back then, and he's still teaching us lesson today. You don't do my plan, you don't care about me. I'm gonna show you who is in control. I am Yahweh, your God. And we, me, you, all of us must listen to him. So this is what happened. Daniel did not conform. He and his brethren did not conform. Did not get caught up into the culture. He was carried away with all of them, repatriate, all of them dragged over there. But later on, after 70 years, that's a long time, they were dragged back. They were returned back to Israel. Because God do that to us. He teaches us a lesson, and he always have a way to get us out of it. So we better start open up all those church doors and get everyone started having their eyes up on God. Because I'm telling you, my fellow eye-watchers and disciples, the Bible never wrong. The book of God, the word of God never wrong. We can fall if we don't listen to God. So then Daniel said to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuch, this is verse 11, had set over Daniel, Ananiah, Meshach, and Azariah, prove thy servant, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. 10 days. So Daniel giving them a test. Give us 10 days, and then you will see how great our God is. You will see. So, my fellow eye watchers and disciples, let us all keep our eyes on God, because I saw what's going on and I saw what's coming. Because the book of God never leave you in darkness. The book of God said it's coming. You don't listen to God. You don't obey God. It is coming. So don't you think for one moment it's not coming. It's coming. It's come to all those nations before us, and it's coming to us. So we better start shape up and wake up. God is calling unto us, and he's saying, wake up my people. Don't get conformed. Listen to my son, my words, because I'm sending him back. So until then, my fellow eye watchers, I just want to say this is the reading from Daniel 1, the book of Daniel 1, and then I go through, some of the verses to show you that to eat or not to eat. To stand your ground and believe in God and not get conformed. Because things gonna happen. And I'm telling you, it's all in God's hand. Things always played out in God's want things to play out when we're not putting God first and not listening to God. So until then, my fellow eye watchers and disciples, let us all have love in our heart. Let us not go around hating everybody, killing, carrying on. Let us all try to stand our ground like Daniel, because I'm telling you, in the midst of all the chaos, God could just pick you out. Because if you are the one that remember him, you are the one that do his will, respect him. But if you get caught up with everybody else and doing all the hatred and stuff and say, God, I don't like these people. I hate them all. And God looked down and God said, oh God, oh, you're going to hate what I made. So we better change our way before doomsday is coming to us. So I'm telling my fellow eye watchers and disciples, I just want to say, always remember, no one else but God first. God first, man second. God first and man second. So if you like what you hear, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. So whenever I upload some more information, you'll be the first to get it. So until then, thank you and God bless you.